And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Kasarian, and we are not in a game today. So, you're probably wondering why. Well, as some of you might be aware, YouTube recently changed their advertiser-friendly content guidelines. Or, let me phrase that a different way. YouTube updated them and made them a bit better explained, and happened to bring attention to them, which is now causing an issue. This is also an explanation for why my Division video suddenly stopped. The real reason Armored Warfare is stopping. Done. And several other points. The main reason the Division stopped is actually because BattleMine Jace, who is one of the players there, his computer fried. So I'm waiting to get new parts for my computer so I can put the new parts in my computer, the old parts in my computer, into his computer and get him back up and running. I could have just continued that with Topaz, my girlfriend, but that didn't happen. And the reason it didn't happen is right in front of you. So for those of you who don't know, these are guidelines that we have to meet as YouTubers. Otherwise, we are not allowed to monetize our videos. So let's go through these. Now, I want to say in advance that I am not a lawyer. I'm studying to be one. I worked in a law firm for about 2 years, but I am not an attorney. If you need legal help, go and find an attorney. All right? And not one on YouTube. Real one. Okay, now that that's out of the way, because I have to, because I'm going to be going to law school and we have to do stuff like that, let's dig into this. Content that is considered not advertiser-friendly includes, but is not limited to, sexually suggestive content. Okay, so let's break this down a bit more than that. Advertiser-friendly content is content that's appropriate for all audiences. It has little to no inappropriate or mature content in the video stream, thumbnail, or metadata, such as in the video title. So this is giving us the background, all right? I think. And I'll get into that more in a bit. If the video does contain inappropriate content, the context is usually newsworthy or comedic, and the creator's intent is to inform or entertain, not offend or shock. This is pretty important, all right? This last bit. And the creator's intent is to inform or entertain, not offend or shock. But we'll get into that. Content that may be acceptable for YouTube under YouTube policies may not be appropriate for Google advertising. Google's program policies provide additional guidelines for what can be monetized, and advertisers also have their own standards and requirements for content. In other words, this is not the end-all be-all. You can still get screwed by YouTube even if you meet all these guidelines because the advertiser doesn't like your content. Oh boy. So now let's go on to content that is considered inappropriate for advertising. Content that is considered not advertiser-friendly includes, but is not limited to, sexually suggestive content including partial nudity and sexual humor. Well, sorry, Duke Nukem. Forever, you're out the window there, buddy. Yeah. Now, all right. Violence, including displays of serious injury and events related to violent extremism. Ooh. Oh, boy. Oh, that's bad. Hey, YouTube, I think you just banned the monetization of just about every video game I can think of. Okay, accepting like Automation and Starship Corporation right now. Because serious injury, notice that this doesn't limit it to people. It also doesn't limit it to real life people. Which means that Armored Warfare technically violates this policy. The Division violates this policy a lot. A lot. Battlefield, Call of Duty, Minecraft, for God's sakes. Minecraft. There is violence in Minecraft, kids. Minecraft can now no longer be monetized on YouTube if you follow this policy literally. At least this section down here. Inappropriate language, including harassment, profanity, and vulgar language. Well, that throws the Division out the window again. I also think at least a couple of my videos probably need to be demonetized now. I don't swear that much on camera, but there are a couple videos where I've said, F this or OS, that sort of stuff. All right, promotion of drugs and regulated substances, including selling, use, and abuse of such items. This is vague too. They say promotion of drugs and regulated substances, which includes selling, use, and abuse. But I don't know if that includes, say, a heroin addict in a video game. Because it's implied, right? It's implied that they use it even if you don't never see it on camera. But everyone knows they're a heroin addict. They might even say it in the thing. Controversial or sensitive subjects and events, including subjects related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters, and tragedy, even if graphic imagery is not shown. All right, read literally, I think we just took out every single news service on YouTube. And a lot of other stuff. So what defines controversial or sensitive? Who's defining that? Well, YouTube, obviously, because they're the company and this is their contract. Okay, that's great. And I'm treating this as a contract because it is included as a rider, basically, to when you're a YouTube channel partner. They say you have to follow these rules. You have to follow our terms of service for channel partners. And then you have to follow our guidelines for advertising for monetized videos. They don't put it in the contract. They put it in here kind of as a rider, as an appendix. It sits on. It's called a rider because it sits on the contract, basically, and it's much easier to change than the contract itself. So, if you follow this part literally, we just wiped out about most of the content of YouTube, and trying to figure out what controversial or sensitive subjects and events are. So, we can't talk about historical events, obviously, because war. We can't talk about political conflicts, okay? We can't talk about natural disasters, all right? YouTube, what are we supposed to talk about? Because I can see, we'd have to flag, and I'm just going to pick examples because this is what the random YouTube drama I've been watching lately. We'd have to ban both Thunderfoot and feminist frequency because that's a controversial or sensitive subject. Gamergate, done. Feminism, done. Politics, Trump, Hillary, nope, can't talk about them anymore. Okay. So let's roll back a little bit. Now, up here it said, if the video does contain appropriate content, the context is usually newsworthy or comedic, and the creator's intent is to inform or entertain, not offend or shock. This puts a limiter on these policies, but I am very, very concerned by this, personally. Because newsworthy or comedic, and the creator's intent is YouTube now has to analyze the creator's intent. This will be fun. For those of you who don't know law, right, intent is always important. Whether you intended to kill someone or not is the difference between manslaughter and second-degree murder. All right? Proving intent is, and using a bad word here, you can imagine what the finger I'm holding up to YouTube right now. Figuring out intent is a bitch. In a courtroom. This is in a criminal proceeding where you have trained investigators who have spent their entire professional careers practicing to gather evidence, and attorneys prosecuting who are incredibly experienced, and proving intent is a bitch. Okay? Okay. How the heck is YouTube going to figure out what my intent is? When I just said that, the B word, twice. Was I trying to shock you or offend you? Was I trying to inform or entertain you? Yep. What was I trying to do? State that in the comments below. I'm curious. Because I'm not certain. So what was I trying to do there? If I don't know, how is YouTube going to know? This also poses another huge issue. Basically, almost every video on my channel could be flagged and demonetized. And I have no way to defend against it. Well, I do. I can request review and that stuff. But if the reviewer decides, nope, this doesn't meet our policies, I have no way to defend against it because this is so vaguely written. This is so vaguely written that they could say, well, it's a controversial subject. I'm talking about video games. Yes, but you mentioned the Ford Pinto. What? Or you mentioned Thunderfoot and Anita Sarkeesian. What? That was like a throwaway comment. Yeah, but you mentioned it. And that's a controversial or sensitive subject, so you can't talk about it. What? Oh, you mentioned guns in a couple of your Euro Truck Sim 2 videos, which, yes, I did. If you go way back, I did some ETS 2 videos. Yeah, and I would kind of blog. They were kind of my video blogs. And I'd say, sure, okay. I'd talk about the fact that I'm a gun owner and why I support gun ownership for reasonable people. Well, that's a controversial or sensitive subject, so you could be demonetized. It may not have been controversial or sensitive at the time. This happened before the shootings, all the rampant mass shootings we've had. But now it's a controversial or sensitive subject. So YouTube's going to go back and they're going to demonetize that video on me. When it's been, I think it's been at least a year and a half, maybe more, since I put those videos up. What the heck? So they're so vaguely written that almost any video can be taken down for anything, if YouTube decides it. And that's a problem. And here's why that's a problem. Because legally, there's a lot of wiggle room for judges, right? It's designed that way. But these are judges. These are judges. These are attorneys. You have a professional representing you. You have another professional whose job and training it is to stay as impartial as they possibly can, who might be the fact finder in the case. You might be the one making the decision, in other words. If you have a jury trial, you're screwed, but whatever. With YouTube, we have volunteers as far as I'm concerned. They're employed by YouTube, but they're volunteers. They're college kids, all right? They're like my age. I know most of the people my age. I wouldn't trust people my age to make decisions about other people's videos. Are you crazy? These are the same kids, and I'm saying kids, and I'm about the same age. I'm including myself in this group. There are people out there, college-age people, who are educated at fantastic universities that are far more expensive than the public university I went to, mind you, who are out there going, we can't have X person speak because at this university because I disagree with their opinion. They are not feminist enough. They are not. They do not support Black Lives Matter enough. This has happened on the opposite side too. That person's a liberal. That person believes in evolution. We can't have them speak here. That shouldn't be allowed. We are living in an age where people our age, my age, and I'm assuming at least some of you around my age, believe that they should be sheltered from opposing ideology, and then YouTube says we can demonetize any video we want, essentially. This is so vaguely written they can demonetize almost anything. We can demonetize any video and refer to these policies, and we're absolutely justified. Now, I have a solution, and this is going to seem somewhat silly. My solution is that we're going to go out, you, me, other YouTubers, maybe, I don't know. I have like, you guys know my channel. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers yet. All right. We go out and we say, all right, we're going to flag as bad for advertising every video that meets any one of these guidelines. Any one of them. Even only once if it meets it. One swear word. One piece of violence. Seriously, go start reporting Minecraft videos. That'll be hilarious. And before people start screaming, Cass, you're encouraging people to break the TOS. No, I'm not. I'm encouraging people to use the tools that Google's put in the exact manner that Google has put those tools in and intends for them to be used. None of what I'm saying breaks policy. I am encouraging you to follow YouTube policy to the letter. Only report videos that break these advertising rules. I'm encouraging you to follow these rules to the exact letter of the law, and thereby show how vaguely written and badly written these rules and guidelines are. And maybe, just maybe, that will convince YouTube to say, maybe we should rewrite these. I'm not expecting complete and utter free speech. I'm not. Seriously, I've been on 4chan. Trust me. I know what happens when you go that far. Nothing good. Trust me. I do not want... There are things I don't want to see on my YouTube. Thank you. But I think we're a little overboard. Because by these regulations, you couldn't advertise on HBO. You couldn't advertise... Hell, you couldn't advertise on CNN. Or Fox. Or MSNBC. Or any of the other networks. You couldn't put advertisements up for The Blacklist. During The Blacklist, that hit drama that I watch. Yeah, you couldn't put advertisements up for that. On that, during that programming. So essentially, what is allowed here? No violence, no inappropriate language, no drugs, no controversial subjects. You know what? Fine. I'm just going to post Barney videos. That's it. I'm done.